Hey there, it's Jen Arkfeld with Stamp Silly, and today we're going to talk about this great new stamp set called Crazy About You. It's in the Occasions catalog from Stampin' Up, and it's filled with all these great phrases to use with a coordinating die set, thinlet set. So like this says happy, and you can coordinate that with Happy Mother's Day or You Make Me Happy. Whatever, they all work together. There's one that says thanks, hello, and you. And I want to show you something really fun to do with these once you have them die cut. So here I've just got a piece of plain typing paper, just scratch paper or whatever, and I'm going to put a little bit of snail across there and then remove a little bit of the tack, and then I'm going to place my die cut that I've already die cut. So that one says you. And I'm going to take some Pool Party embossing powder to it. So I'm going to ink this with some Versamark. You want to do that real lightly because you don't want it to pull up too much. And then we're going to sprinkle on our embossing powder. Okay. I'm just going to funnel that back into my jar. Okay, and I want my heat gun to be super hot, so I'm going to heat that up real quick. Whoops, I missed. Maybe I don't have any. Oh, I need to add a little Versamark there. Okay, so I added a little Versamark there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay, so let's funnel this back into our jar. Alright, so like I was saying, I want my heat gun to be super hot, so I'm going to go ahead and preheat that a bit. And okay, while that is still super hot, I'm going to sprinkle on more embossing powder. I want this to end up like really thick embossing on there, so it is kind of like a real raised image. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time here. Okay, and one more time I'm going to do it real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to heat set that one more time. Alright, and I'm going to let that cool a second while I clean up my work surface. Okay, so now this is cooled off good enough, and I should be able just to bend my scrap paper back just a little bit and get that to pop up off of there. See how easily that pops up off of the embossing powder, or the snail, really, the adhesive that was holding it down. Okay, so just real gently pull that up. Okay, so I have that, and you'll notice that you may have some rough edges, like here it pulled up a bunch of the embossing powder. So I just take my scissors and snip that off. And then, or the majority of it off. So I just snip some of those off. And there's some that I can't always get to. Well, there's a great little trick for that. I'm going to find my tweezers here. These work perfect for this. So I'm just going to hold this with my tweezers and hit the heat gun over it again. Okay, and what that does is it just smooths out any rough edges that you may have had. Okay, okay, well, just like that. You notice that I have a little bend in there, and you know what? That's not going to be noticeable once I glue this onto my card. Alright, so I'm going to set that stuff aside. And this is going to go on my card. I just have a real simple card I'm going to put this on. I have a card here. It's just your 4 1/4 by 11 scored in half, so on 5 1/2. And I'm going to put down this piece of pattern paper. Alright, so I'm going to use some of that Fast Fuse adhesive and stick this on here. Okay, so I have this piece of pattern paper stuck down, and now I'm going to use a new celebration item. This is Irresistibly Yours pattern paper, I forgot to mention that this pattern paper is also a celebration item. Best year ever. Love the colors in this pattern paper. Just so springy, and I'm ready for spring. So this, I was saying, is Irresistibly Yours. And this is like, I love it. It's like magic paper. What I'm going to do here is take a sponge, part of a sponge, and some crushed curry ink. And look at this. As I rub it on, it's like magic. That pattern in the paper just pops. And that is just because it's been pre-embossed. So there are 6 different designs in this pack of paper. And again, it's one of those free items you get with Celebration when you purchase $50. So look at that. Look how that just like bing pops out. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to add this to my card here. I'm just going to layer that right over the top. And again, I'm using my Fast Fuse, which is a super strong adhesive. You can't ever go wrong with it. It's going to stay stuck. And we're going to line this up on my card, just like that. Now to cover up that seam, I'm going to use another Celebration item. Celebration starting. I love it. So one of the Celebration items is this, these 3 spools of ribbon and matching buttons. Love them. Love the colors. The colors are so fun and vibrant. So I'm going to use the Calypso Coral ribbon out of there. I'm just going to cut off a chunk here. And I'm going to tie this around in I'm actually going to do a knot, so I've got plenty extra here, but I'll use it for something else. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to do that and trim my ends, and like I said, okay, so I trimmed just that little edge off of there, and I think that fits much better. So I'm going to just tighten that up and stick that down here. I'm going to use a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals on the back side of it to give it some dimension on top of it. And they fit just perfectly. Yippee skippy. Alright. Don't mind my noisy children and husband. And I'm going to stick that clear over here. There we go. Just like that. I think that works well. And you know what? I'm going to trim that off so that those 2 ends match each other. And I think that's good. Thinking of you. And hopefully in the photographs you'll be able to see how this is raised up really nicely. But it's just a fun touch. Alright, that's all I've got for you today, but I hope you will come back later and see